Paul says in Ephesians 4 verse 26, "Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger." Anger management is something we all have to deal with actively in our lives. Everybody experiences anger. There's all sorts of things that can anger us. It might be things that grow out of a deep relationship in our marriage or in our family or in our workplace, or it might be just a sudden incidental where you get cut up by another driver or somebody does something to you you've never met before. Anger has to be dealt with, Paul says, on a daily basis, because if it's left unchecked, it can do all kinds of harm. Anger in itself isn't sinful. God is a God of wrath. His anger is always right and just. Ours is almost invariably tinged with something other than justice. It's usually about the fact that we've been inconvenienced, put out, or we've been offended in some kind of way. And there's a lot of offence around, and people feel it's their human rights to be offended and to stay offended. Well, if that's the way they want to live, I don't recommend it. Jesus experienced anger in the temple, but it was righteous anger. We have to deal with it because otherwise it can become a curse. In Genesis chapter 49, when Jacob is giving the prophetic words over his sons, he speaks to Simeon and Levi, "Cursed be their anger, for it is fierce, and their wrath, for it is cruel." Cruelty, fierceness, harsh words can cut like swords. For Simeon and Levi, it was literally swords that got the better of them. But our tongue can be like a sharp sword that cuts into people when we let rip with our anger. Paul's saying daily, put it to bed, deal with it. Well, how do you deal with it when you feel somebody has really provoked you and you're stirred up and you're stewing with it and it's pouring round in your mind? Jesus says we must forgive. We must forgive others their sins as we ourselves have been forgiven. And therefore, on a daily basis, let me appeal to you. Paul says love keeps no record of wrongs. Don't just blank them out at the end of the day. Take them to the cross. Recognise that there at the cross, Jesus took the anger of God for you. And whatever others have done to you is nothing compared to what Jesus experienced on the cross. Let your anger die. Let's not have sharp words. Let's not have bitter attitudes that we maintain in our heart towards others. Freely you've received, freely give. And give forgiveness. Let it flow. Don't sin, because anger may not be sinful, but it soon becomes bitter, resentful, full of self-pity if we just leave it. And therefore today, before you go to bed, deal with your anger once and for all. Well, no, but deal with today's lot. And tomorrow, do it again. And the next day, again, until the kingdom comes and all anger will be swallowed up forever and ever. Amen.